What are you crazy about? Climbing? Cleaning? How about doing both at once? Love the ocean? Enough to put yourself on the menu? Or is your passion guns and bombs? You'll need to be fanatical about these extreme jobs. You don't need to be a member of a cult to have something meaningful in your life. If you're a fan of climbing, grab a sponge, as there's a job 300 metres up. Of course, if it's that easy, why isn't everyone doing it?
Down, down, down!
Welcome to Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. Here, the tiger economy has transformed the skyline. The Petronas Towers, once the tallest buildings in the world, are just one landmark in this booming city. So there's a huge demand for workers like Akmal Noor. He's a window cleaner. But this job is more fanatical than it sounds.
Mostly people call us Spider-Man, you know?
How high is it? Probably close to, wow, 79 floors. Scary, yeah? Wow, yeah. First time, man. I wonder what it's gonna be like up there.
The architects were fans too, of bamboo.
This building does not look like any other building. Well, it looks like a bamboo shoot, you know? It is so weird looking. It's totally different from any other building you've seen in KL.
Hey, that's the guy.
Like mountains, every building provides a new challenge.
Hello, good morning.
Standing 310 metres and 77 stories high, this is the Menara Telecom Tower. But try cleaning the windows. Akmal and his buddy Lin take 2 elevators and 4 sets of stairs to reach the roof. Luckily, Akmal has 7 years rock climbing experience to fall back on, and 800 metres of rope in the bag.
It's very dangerous if you're doing climbing. So, is there any precaution you have taken to climb this building?
Yes, we're going to use 2 ropes, one for working and one for safety.
The windows had never been cleaned by rope access, so it's over to Akmal to write the instruction manual. Too much responsibility? For him, it's a perk.
I was the first guy to get on the building to do rope access. What was so challenging about it is that I have to make my own decisions. You know, where to tie the ropes, how to go down, where to move.
Akmal fell into this job by accident.
That's it, man.
So me and my best friend, we were hanging out, and then his father, who works with the sports ministry, told us that if we wanted to go and see people do rock climbing.
After just by doing one climb, we liked it so much. So we've been going to the cliffs every day for the past 7 years.
A friend told me, well, how long are you going to do this climbing thing? You know, where are you going to get your money for your future, you know? This is what you can do. There's this thing we call rope access, where people work with ropes.
The strength and muscle control he learned will be put to good use. The lazy way to clean a high-rise is from a gondola, moving safely from one window to the next. But as architects become more ambitious, rope climbing cleaners are a must. Gondolas will be out of the question on some parts of the Menara Telecom. There's nowhere to hang them. Akmal will need a crew of 10 other climbers. Estimated duration of the job? 2 months.
First, I have to go and recce the building, and then I will know what to bring along, what type of equipment to use. With ropes, we have 2. One is for working rope, and one is another safety rope in case if the working rope fails or torns or damaged, and then we have another line to back up.
A line that fails is just one of the dangers involved in rope access. But in Kuala Lumpur, this is the least of Akmal's worries.
Hope it's not gonna rain.
Would you be brave enough to go over the edge 50 stories up? Only 2 ropes and his trusty assistant stand between him and the ground. But he's got a rare personality to suit the job.
Window cleaning and whoosh, you know, it's an experience. Everybody's so small. The people, the cars, they're all like ants walking around.
This may be the ultimate high, but it's dangerous work and people do die.
If a rescue situation were to happen, we always have extra equipment.
Nevertheless, Lynn keeps checking those knots. But at a sticky 80% humidity for most of the year, storms come thick and fast.
Weather is very important. When you see the black clouds, okay, you know it could rain, you could have lightning. If it starts to rain, drizzle, then I'd say you better stop.
Lightning is a major problem.
Down, down, down! Rescue yourself! Are you safe? Are you safe?
Skyscrapers act as conductors.
Are you safe?
Rooftop lightning rods keep people safe inside. But on the outside, it's another story. If Akmal had been on the neighbouring building, he could be dead.
Oh, so if you see a lightning, I think you should get off the ropes.
The storm passes, but it's left the windows slick with rainwater. Akmal is up for anything, as long as it involves climbing.
Rope access climbing is in me. Without it, I don't think I will live well. I need to climb something. If I just sit around and, I'm gonna go sick. So I need to move, I need to go out and climb and clean something, get on a building. Because these 2 things are part of my life now. You feel like you're on top of everything, you know?
Here is one man who's made his passion pay. The winning formula for this trade seems to be natural talent plus mental agility. Akmal's got a gleaming CV to prove it. Coming up, the stress involved in handling millions of dollars worth of munitions. But first, for some, gross misconduct at work means getting the sack. For others, it means being eaten alive. Interested? In Australia's Southern Ocean, prepare to meet a man who knows what death looks like, and it's got big teeth. Andrew Fox is a shark scientist, specialising in great whites. The salary is minimal, and at times non-existent. You'll need at least a degree in biological science and a strong heart. Arguably, you've got more chance of ending up as the MD of a Fortune 500 company. This job is elusive, just like the sharks. Carcharodon carcharius, the great white.
Sharks, to me, are the guardians of the ocean. They control all of the other populations of animals underneath them.
It's Andrew's job to find ways to keep sharks and humans apart, off the shores of Adelaide, where he lives with his wife and child.
In the last few years, we've had 3 fatalities. Interestingly, we had 2 deaths in 2 days, and that's made the whole public very scared of sharks. They want to know how many there are, whether or not they need to be culled. And our studies will be able to tell them at what times of the year and what locations are more dangerous than others to swim.
He knows firsthand the damage a great white's 300 serrated teeth can do. In 1963, 2 years before Andrew was born, his father was attacked.
My father was a spear fisherman, and he was actually diving down. He was about to spear a fish and the shark hit him in the side. And they were able to stitch him up with 460 stitches. Since his attack, he's very much involved with many of the films and research on sharks.
It obviously didn't put off his son either. Despite the macabre glamour of a shark attack, like any job, this one is mostly hard work and drudgery. You'll need to invest thousands of hours number crunching, writing reports, even begging for funding or equipment. And after all that, the animals often don't even turn up. Chum helps. Great whites have bigger olfactory lobes in their brains, and therefore better sense of smell than any other sharks. Shark science isn't just a man's game. Kristen Jensen is a fellow enthusiast. In shark research, as in many other fields, who you work with can determine whether you succeed or fail. Technology helps, like these new tagging guns, which attach transmitters and will upload the shark movement data to a satellite in 3 weeks' time. Shark research is expensive, and few things are harder to do than to get someone else to pay to satisfy your curiosity. Be prepared to put your own money into it.
Now this dorsal fin margin is like a human fingerprint.
To sometimes put yourself on the line to get data.
Plot those down on this diagram.
Andrew descends. The statistics are not on his side. Sharks attack between 50 and 75 people every year worldwide. Up to 12 of these attacks are fatal. But consider this. We kill somewhere between 20 and 100 million sharks every year, mainly through fishing. Andrew is on their side. This predator can grow to over 4 meters in length and live in most of the world's oceans, swallowing whatever it can fit into its mouth.
I've never really been afraid of great white sharks or any sharks.
Fine, if you know how to read the danger signals.
Some sharks arch their backs and drop their pectoral fins or crunch their jaws, and little signs like that can tell us that they're starting to become more aggressive, and they're the sharks that are dangerous.
They can swim over 20 kilometers per hour and attack their prey from below or behind. Time to clear out. Andrew and Kristen head for Neptune Island, a known great white hotspot. They need to do a head count. The sharks are bound to be here with so much food on the menu.
They swim in little rafts along there.
Like sort of over there.
Yeah, there's a raft,
Yep.
And back in the bay, there's a lot of New Zealand fur-seal pups.
Yeah.
While adult seals teach their pups to swim, the great whites move in for the kill. Nothing can stop them. Bad news for the seals, but great for the scientists. it. By building a better picture of the sharks' feeding habits, they're working out how to keep people out of the line of fire. Andrew and Kristen work long hours for little pay, risk being maimed or killed. They can say they love what they do. This next trade could never be accused of being a glorified hobby, but you certainly need to be obsessively passionate to get to the top. You are about to get the inside track on what it means to be an ordnance expert on an aircraft carrier. Somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, exact location classified, a warship prepares for battle. On board is Adrielle Stoppen. She's responsible for a multi-million-dollar cache of weapons.
I decided that I wanted to be in a more special elite group than just like the Army or the Navy.
You only need 15 weeks classroom training to learn the ropes of this trade, but it takes a lifetime to perfect it. At 6 a.m, she starts her 12-hour shift. Today's job sheet states logging and manoeuvring warheads from the arms deck onto the jet fighters. There are 12 F-18 fighters in her section. On average, she will arm them with 80 missiles a day.
Some of them weigh up to 1,000 pounds. We have a hoist to help load, like with pulleys and stuff. And a lot of the smaller ones we just put up ourselves.
It's a stressful combination of manual labour and mental agility, calculating risks and loads. It's hard and dangerous work, but for Adrielle, it's more than just a job. It's a vocation.
I wanted to join the Marines ever since I was little. All those commercials and stuff about the few and the proud.
Over 88,000 tonnes of explosives were dropped during aircraft sorties in the Gulf War. The Ordnance Department has the job of stocking up on joint direct attack munitions. These are the smart bombs that use GSM locators to lock onto their exact target.
People obviously think that, girls wouldn't be lifting ordnance and stuff, but there are a lot of us who are nowadays. Like 10 years ago, it wouldn't have been something that we did, but now we are part of a team, and that's all it takes is, a good, strong team, whether it's male or female.
To be an ordnance expert, you'll need to lead from the front. That means staying focused and making decisions. Even one mistake could mean people die. There's no equivalent to this job out in the civilian world, but these leadership skills can be found in anyone who can manage projects and teams. Providing you can handle bombs that can flatten entire cities.
This wings and fins? Oh, we got that slam, right? Are they up? The slammers?
You also need to be good at communicating.
We come back here and we check it out from these guys right here, G1. They issue it to us, and we take it out after an inspection to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it. And we take it and load it up on the jets. We're about to go do that right now.
Adrielle is also trained to defuse and dispose of a huge variety of bombs. Take the AIM-9 Sidewinder, for example. In the West, it is the most commonly used air-to-air missile, and they cost €33,000 apiece. If a jet returns with one unused, the missile is unloaded and checked again. So far, there's never been an accident on this warship. Responsibilities are immense. It's a tough job, made even more difficult by being at sea. The 18,000 square metres of deck are never still, even in good weather, and planes are constantly taking off and landing.
Ready front, ready back, bring it up, right shoulder.
The drill is repeated exactly the same way every time. Don't apply for this job unless you can learn to do things to the letter. One slip-up would mean the death of over 5,000 crew members.
Aft, forward, aft, hit your roll, wings and fins.
If a missile is loaded incorrectly because of mistakes on the ground, there's little a pilot can do flying at speeds close on Mach 2. It costs around €45 million to replace an F-18 fighter. But what price do you put on a pilot's life?
The CAD's here, so if the pilot needs to drop the tank, we can use this and it'll explode and the tank will fly off in flight.
It helps to light guns and bombs for this job, but it's not enough. It takes focus to check explosives and countermeasures before each flight.
That's basically all we do to get the jet ready for flight. It's just do those two things, put explosives in the tanks and put the countermeasures in.
Countermeasures are the plane's defences: chaff, flares and decoys. Long-range detection and fast deployment against radar-guided threats. Adrielle makes sure they're in good nick. The job on deck done. As an ordnance expert, you'll probably go and bone up on ever-changing arms technology. And then there are all the meetings about battle strategy to attend. Don't apply for this job if you like to put your feet up. On the other hand, if the thought of being at war excites you, you're not frightened of hard work, and have a special passion for weapons, maybe the artillery trade is for you. Three jobs requiring different kinds of fanaticism. A career on board may be more sane than one overboard. But the high-rise window cleaner has to be the craziest passion of all.